What if you could play native Xbox games on your PC? I think Microsoft is trying to make it happen. What's up, everybody? Brad here, and I've been trying to piece together a puzzle since February 8th, and I think we finally have all of the components that tell the story of what Microsoft is trying to do. And I don't want to get the hype train started too early, but my goodness, am I looking forward to this? So let's jump back to February 8th, and Microsoft released a build 18334 to the Insider program. Not that big of a deal, but one thing that they included in this build that made it just kind of stood out, and it didn't make sense. And this is where the puzzle started. It says, hey, we need help gaming on Windows and to play State of Decay. Why does Microsoft need me to play State of Decay? And why are they giving it to me for free? And why is it happening in a new build of Windows 10? And so this got the ball started of saying, okay, Microsoft is clearly doing something, because they're not just going to give away a game like this if they don't have some larger motive in place. And so this is where I started digging around, got some help from some outside parties like Nasmus Labs, Raphael, Walking Cat, and a couple others. And I think we're starting to see what is happening here. So when you go to download State of Decay that Microsoft is offering up for free, typically when you download a game, even if it's a Play Anywhere game, it comes from serverdl.microsoft.com. But when you go to download State of Decay, it downloads from assets1.xboxlive.com. That is the first major change. So rather than going up to the Windows Store and grabbing the bits, it's actually going to the Xbox Store and grabbing the game. That's the first oddity. So it's like, okay, so it's coming from the Xbox side. Now, when you download this, you actually get what is called an I believe it's XCV or XVC, if I could find it here in my notes, XVC file format. XVC file format is what Microsoft started using around the time of Xbox One. So again, you are grabbing an Xbox One file format and downloading it. Now, if you break apart this installer, what you're actually installing as part of it is DirectX from the store. And this is a full install of DirectX. Typically, when you download things from the store, they're sandbox and you can't get access to certain files on your system because it's a security feature, but not with State of Decay. This is a classic install of DirectX, which basically means that you're going to the store, you're breaking outside the sandbox by going and grabbing the Xbox stuff. You're installing DirectX, which you couldn't do through a store app. So this is all coming down the pipeline here. And it gets better than that. So Walking Cat did some digging around through this, and he found a thing called Microsoft Gaming Service Apps, which has two file components, XVD disk driver and this gaming filter thing that you need to install or can install on your machine. Now, deep in the DLLs of these files are references to Durango. And if you don't know what Durango is, Durango was the code name for the Xbox One, or what we called Xbox 720 at that time. It was just the code name of Xbox One. So what do we have here? We have a link in the store going up, grabbing assets from the Xbox side. We have an Xbox file format being run on your machine. If you're not familiar with PowerShell, PowerShell is a scripting tool in Windows 10. Starting in 1981, you can use PowerShell to install an Xbox game. State of Decay can be installed with PowerShell. That is a mind-blowing statement right there. Never thought I would say something like that. There's references to Durango in these file formats. Guys, what it looks like you were doing is downloading an Xbox game and running it on your PC. It's not quite clear if that's exactly what's happening, but this is step one of a major strategy change for the Xbox and Microsoft Gaming. And this, I don't think this is too far-fetched. This has been something Microsoft has been working on for a long time. It hasn't been all that hard for developers, at least with the last-gen gaming, to build a PC game and an Xbox game. There's still overhead, but it's not quite the same. But what it definitely is capable of now is that they can share the same binary. We don't know if all the graphical assets and everything else are quite one-to-one yet, but what this looks like, guys, is these are the not even baby steps, these are giant steps towards making it so Xbox One games run on your PC. This is monumental for Microsoft, because think of it this way. Yes, we know that Sony has sold more consoles than Microsoft. That's whatever. If Microsoft can tell developers you build one game and it runs on the PC and the Xbox, that's it, no overhead. That is the same ecosystem. That means Microsoft has a massive infrastructure and user base of games. And it looks like it's going to be forward and backwards compatible, which means, like, imagine being able to go grab all your old games and just play them on your PC. It's making them one and the same. And now this isn't a huge surprise, because with this generation, we really saw that shift from where consoles were these unique assets that required special coding and frameworks and all that stuff, to looking more, I mean, this is an x86 box. It's running Jaguar cores. It's not all that crazy to say that, hey, that's just a PC with a custom OS on it. Granted, there's more intricacies than that, but we're moving closer to it. Consoles are just being computers, and that game package runs on everything. And we also know that Microsoft is bringing more Xbox Live services to the PC. This is all part of the larger game core strategy that Phil Spencer has been initiating, and I think this is going to be a massive win for Microsoft, because it expands their ecosystem. It makes developers, day one, when this goes live, developers will be able to target a much broader audience than they were previously with the same binary. This is, if you don't understand what I'm talking about on this, that's fine. It took me a very long time to understand some of this too. Just know that this is a very good thing, that Xbox One games appear to be coming to your PC natively. And this isn't some half-baked install that Microsoft is doing here. It looks like what we're doing, instead of just taking Xbox features one by one and porting them to the PC, it looks like they just ripped the plumbing out of the PC side and just put the Xbox stuff in its place, and then made Windows 10 be able to understand these file formats and the calls that are needed to make the game play. There's also delivery optimization that comes with this. Again, straight out of the Xbox side, right into the PC. Just think that they took Xbox Live, the back-end bits, ripped it out, and put it in, and now they're testing it with the game, State of Decay. This might be the biggest news that we get all year, regardless of Anaconda and Lockhart and all that stuff, because this makes developers want to build for Xbox and Windows first, because it is larger, and they get a bigger bang for their buck. It makes their lives easier, gets us better games, get us better gaming experiences. Well done, Phil. Well done.